Good. Reinvention. This could be the most important conversation you've had in a long time. This is an opportunity to move into the future that is unharvested in a way that may have never been possible before, and then walk away from here with a process to do it over and over again. So reinvention begins with a breakdown. Unless you break down, you cannot reinvent. So you have a breakdown in your current structures, your current habits, your current systems. Our country is going through a reinvention. And it's being reinvented out of a breakdown. You cannot reinvent unless you first break down. When we have a setback and we experience pain, emotionally, psychologically, financially, or in relationships, we're at the point of reinvention. How many of you have ever had a breakdown? How many of you are in the middle of a breakdown right now? Okay. Now listen carefully, because this is what I've observed in my own life and the life of others, is that the energy and the pain that occurs in a breakdown is the wake-up call that you must have in order to reinvent. You cannot reinvent when everything's going smoothly. It's impossible. Homeostasis wants to keep everything just the way it is. The only time you can reinvent is, Terry, is when the office says, hey, we don't have enough money to stay open. Reinvent. Reinvent. It happens at that moment. It's a wake-up call. And it's a place where we can transform our lives. When something that occurs that causes deep pain, new awareness emerges in that moment, and that's when we are most likely to feel the greatest pain. This pain is where our greatest opportunity to grow and to reinvent. It's in a moment. It's in a flash of a second. The pain hits, and now this is the moment of reinvention. Now, you make the decision how long you want to stay in the pain and keep repeating the process over and over again, or completely reinvent yourself. You make that choice. How many of you notice that the longer you're on the planet, the less you want to stay in pain? The older you get, the more you just let it go. Because it's just not worth hanging on to anymore. I'll just make the change. So the opportunity to recreate yourself is like pressing Control-Alt-Delete at the pinnacle of the pain. So when you're at the moment of pain, like boom, here it is. What am I going to do in this moment? Call comes in, appraisal is low. Here it is, boom, here it is, right now. What are you going to do right now? Next moment, next 60 seconds is going to define your life. And I would say that your future is what you do in those moments. And if you have 10 or 12 of them a day, and you do the same thing every time pain hits, you keep repeating the past over and over again without any reinvention. Now you have picked an industry where you get to reinvent every moment. The whole industry is in complete pain. And it's an opportunity to reinvent. Without it, you don't get to reinvent. You get just to remain the same. Are you tracking with me so far? Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is start to really look at the moments of pain. When the moment occurs and you choose to get stuck in the pain and you use that occurrence to dramatize, catastrophize, blame, and spin down for a minute, an hour, or a day, you're doomed to repeat it. Appraisal comes in low. Damn it, that appraisal. I can't believe it. Hey, you guys, did you hear what happened over on Miller Street? The appraisal came in low, and then the drama rises. And there's the story. You get buy-in. There it is, conversation. And what happens is, next appraisal comes in low. Because you didn't stop and say, in this moment, how do I reinvent? What do I do that's completely different? In this moment, I got 60 seconds to react or respond to negativity. And how you react or respond to negativity depends on what your future is. And I've got to get you to respond in a positive way, because my future depends on it. And so does your future, and so does your client's future. It's the greatest lesson you'll ever learn. Everything depends on how you handle that moment. You don't have to be great all the time, but you need to be really clear and creative when adversity, challenges, and problems arise. It's like you don't have to be great all the time, but when a problem rises, that's when you have to be good. And it happens in your business every time the phone rings. Oh, here's a moment to be good. Because it could be an incoming. Incoming! So you will either repeat or reinvent. And mastering the skill of reinvention guarantees you a seat at the table of success. My friend Bimala, some of you met Bimala, you came to our home and you met a former girlfriend of mine, Bimala. And Bimala moved in with me about a year and a half ago, and we had a love affair, and then we decided to go our separate ways, and she moved out. And guys, you know this, as soon as your girlfriend leaves and she finds another guy, you want her back. Come on, you guys, you know what I'm talking about. So I walk into my gym where I've been working out with my trainer, Marcus Ian, for years. And I love going down this gym. It's right at the bottom of my hill. And I walk into the gym, and there's Bimala in the arms of her new boyfriend. And my heart went boom. And the pain that I experienced in that moment. Now, I was at a moment. It was like this moment. It was like going to define what was going to happen next for me. I could have either walked up to them and had a drama, or I could have turned to Martin and say, I mean, I had a lot of thoughts at this moment. But it was a moment of reinvention. It was like in the moment. I stood there, and I at the point of tears, I was like, it's like, she's not my girlfriend anymore, but she can't be his. That's not right. So I'm hit this moment here, and I remember walking out, and I've been trained to do this. And so I stepped out, and I went, okay, let's go. And I walked across the street to Isaiah's, a gym. I don't know why I did. I just walked over there. A voice of mine said, go walk over to Isaiah. Walked over to Isaiah, and there's Robert Budd standing at the table. And I said, Robert, I'm looking for a new place to work out. I want to work out every morning at 5 a.m. because I want to really nail this ritual of the 5 a.m. club. I'm looking for a guy that can show up every morning at 5 a.m. And he goes, you found him. And my life has been completely reinvented from that moment. Are you following me on this? It was in that moment. I would have never sought him out if I didn't experience that pain. Are you following me on this? It was in that moment. It's what I did in that moment. And the answer was inside. What I had to do was go find it. I didn't know it, but the answer could not have emerged unless that moment occurred. Now, am I saying go out and find pain? You don't have to. It's coming to you every day. You don't have to look very far. In your business, it's right there. Just walk in the office. They're all over the place. So what I'm asking you to do is learn how to find yourself in that moment.